you'd be booked till like 2015 or something.
No, it's a lot. It's a lot for right now.
Okay, awesome. So I'm gonna jump on it right now, like we're doing the interview. But dude, totally be yourself. Be fucking nuts and crazy and curse and do whatever you want to do. This is not a drum interview. This is a fucking life interview. All right?
Oh God, I'm so mellow today because I didn't sleep enough. So I'm not going to be as hyper as I usually am.
No, fuck that, dude. You're gonna be hyper after speaking to me. Okay? They don't call
All
me
right.
for nothing. All right. What's up, Kenny? How you doing in Los Angeles, my brother?
I'm doing good, man. But it's funny. I got a picture of New York behind me.
Yeah, and I'm in New York too.
Is that weird? Look at that. It's probably right where you live. Right there.
Yeah. So yeah, man, I don't have any Los Angeles pictures behind me, unfortunately, but I feel at home just looking at you.
Well, let's see if you can see behind me. That's the Los Angeles sun.
There you go.
Let's see, Los Angeles apartment and sun.
With your
All right, so what's up?
Well, I remember hearing a story a while back about. Oh, yeah, there you go. There's the guns of Aronoff. Kenny, you're lucky I'm not wearing short sleeves right now because I'd pretty much be on the same page with you. So
look at that! Look how big my fists are, man. They're coming right at you. Wow, wow. I know.
So, but hey, I wanted to talk to you about this story I heard a while back about when you were playing with Mellencamp a long time ago, and just so listeners or viewers know. I used to watch you play drums in all those videos that you were in with Mellencamp, and
right.
You'd be sitting there with your snare drum and your hi-hat, like no toms, and I'd be like, man, I want to play drums like that dude one day, man, and like, I just wanted to let people know that like you were the most awesome drummer back in the day on MTV, man, like with your stripped down drum kit.
Yeah. It's like everybody was going for big, and I was going for big for a long time, and then with Mellencamp I went for less is more. I used to actually write articles on that modern drummer, the less is more approach to drumming, because I actually became the drummer I used to make fun of. I didn't subscribe to the less is more because I was coming out of a music school and trying to do more is more, technique and try to just. Technique was everything, and then I got my education with Mellencamp, and that's what you saw was me really embracing that.
Yeah, and this video I saw of you a while back when you were explaining Mellencamp was really, man, it was really powerful. I remember you saying something, and maybe if you could explain this, because I can't find that video online anymore. You talking about when you joined John's band, Mellencamp's band, you being coming from a fusion background, wanting to play a lot of stuff. Right. You were saying that you actually got canned from that gig. I think that's what it was, right? And
that's what happened. I got fired. Well, what happened was I'd only been in the band. Well, what happened was I was going to move to New York City, and I'd had a band for 3 years in Indiana, living in a band house, living the crazy, wild dream of being in a band. I'd been in bands since I was 10 years old. This was probably when I was 27. And I graduated I'd done 5 years of orchestral training, 1 year at UMass and 4 at Indiana University, and spending summers at studying classical music. But I always was playing drum set. The bottom line is, after I graduated, I spent a year studying in New York and Boston on the drum set and realized, oh my God, that's really what I want to do. I turned down orchestral, gigs, one in Israel, one in South America, and realized that I really wanted to go back to what I originally was doing, which was playing in bands. So after 3 years of being in a band in Bloomington, Indiana, I realized I got to move to New York, because that's where I knew more people. And 2 weeks before that, I'd heard that this John Cougar, that's what it was, Johnny Cougar, who had a song called I Need a Lover, was looking for a drummer because he had just fired his drummer in Indiana. So I I knew somebody, just being the hustler I was, I knew somebody in the band. I called them up and asked to audition. And I wasn't really a big fan of that music because it was a less is more thing. I was coming out of a more is more thing. I was trying to chase Billy Cobham, and of course never got there. But, I was just trying to be like that kind of player. And so I got the record and I just started practicing it like 6 hours a day, 7 hours a day, and didn't understand the simplicity. Anyway, I win the audition because I'm so prepared. But once we started to make the record, the musical ideas I had were not the type of ideas that John liked. He wanted stuff that was more for a singer-songwriter, and my ideas were more outside.
Mahavishnu?
What?
Mahavishnu Orchestra?
Yeah, stuff like that. I was completely I was not Charlie Watts or Ringo Starr by any means. So I was more on a learning curve, and John was expecting more from me. He was frustrated. He was just not, he wanted to get this record done because he was divorced. He had a new girlfriend. He didn't even want to make a record. So, but the producer came out and there was a lot of tension. I'd only been in the band 5 weeks. And the producer came out to see us. It was Steve Cropper from the Blues Brothers. And he's all about groove and rhythm section. He saw the tension between me and John. And he also knew that I was new in the band and he understood dynamics. So I think in the back of his mind, he thought he better be ready in L.A. because he needed to get this record done so he could go on tour with the Blues Brothers. So what happened was we get to L.A. and I'm telling everybody I'm making a record with John Mellencamp and I'm so pumped and excited. We're in the big city of L.A. We're recording at Cherokee Studios. We're at the Cars and all kinds of bands were recording there. Rod Stewart. And my first day in there, I didn't have the cool. I mean, in 1980, everything switched from the drums being in a vocal booth to being in a room. You went I had the single-headed toms. Everything went back to double-headed toms, coated ambassador heads. I had the Evans hydraulic heads, more of a thuddy, tubby sound. I did not have the cool shit. And there was this tension, and so we started recording, and we're getting sounds, and it just was an uptight scene. And John was being really intense. And so after that day, basically, I got fired from the record. I was devastated. I couldn't believe it because I was always pretty successful at what I did, but, I was very aggressive at trying to be on top. And they had 2 session guys, Ed Green and Rick Slosher, who were some of LA's best session guys at the time, to replace me. And I remember John calling me downstairs. We were staying at the Chateau Marmont, famous hotel. We were rock and roll hotel in L.A. on the Sunset Strip. I go down to John's room, and John says, well, you haven't had a lot of experience recording. And I'm thinking, no, that's bullshit, man. That's not right. No, I'm thinking, I can do this. Come on. I've won a concerto competition on marimba. I've played with Leonard Bernstein, Aaron Copland. I've memorized concertos, and this is ridiculous.
Harder music, practically.
Yeah, I was thinking this is ridiculous. So he says, you go home, you work on your stuff, and I said, no. I said, no, I'm not going home. I said, you don't have to pay me anything, and I'll sleep on the floor. And I said, and he was shocked. He couldn't believe it. It's like telling the football coach saying something that he just told you to run laps, and you say, no, I'm not going to run laps. Except it was more like the coach saying, I want you to run 18 laps. You go, no. And then he looks at you and you say, I'm going to run 80,000 laps.
Yeah.
Like, what? I said to John,